Hello. So thus far, we've explored why justice is the precondition for character education and why character educators need to be especially committed and skillful at promoting justice in their classrooms. Now I'd like to turn to a second point that is especially exciting for me as a character educator, which is that character education can strengthen our students to be agents of change in the world. Okay, so let's explore some strategies of social change. I think all of us have some implicit, intuitive background narrative of what are the strategies that are useful in making the world a better place. So some of us really emphasize new technology, recognizing that the sexual revolution would not have been possible if the birth control bill had not existed. Some of us focus on media narratives, looking at things like the way the I Love Lucy show normalized interracial relationships. Some of us build institutions, so we establish schools or YMCAs or other community centers that make certain forms of relationship possible where they wouldn't be otherwise. Some of us build social movements and organize marches and rally people to show up outside their senators' doors. Social movements also are usually pushing for policy development, even though the people who are doing the protesting are often not the people who are actually writing the laws. So that's another strategy. If all of that fails, people will sometimes turn to violent revolution, trying to overhaul the whole system, or utopian experiments where they almost withdraw from society at large and pursue social justice by narrowing their sphere of concern to a tight little group of people. There are probably more strategies of social change, and these are not mutually exclusive. I suspect that many of us have narratives that weave these methods of social change together. What I want to say here is that character education can support any or all of these. Maybe not violent revolution, but that's debatable. And certainly character education is not sufficient to fulfilling any of these strategies of social change. So for instance, I hesitate to say these things because they're somewhat obvious, but I'm going to say them anyway. An artist's creativity is not going to automatically overhaul cultural prejudices. The fact that an engineer has some hope that they can create something useful to build healthier infrastructure is not the same thing as ending lead poisoning in marginalized communities. Perseverance is not the same thing as the creation of new gun policies. And on the other hand, all of these things are character traits that are supportive of people doing the work of social change. I'm not going to beat that horse to death. I think you all probably get the concept. What I'd like you to do now is to take a moment and consider, what is your narrative of social change? Which of these strategies figure most prominently? And what virtues might help your students enact those strategies of social change more effectively? Thank you.